Right, very warm welcome everybody to CoinShares presentation here at ABG Investor Days. My name is Albert Mullerbrook. I work in the financials team here and am covering the CoinShares stock. And with me today I have the CEO of CoinShares, Jean-Marie Mognetti, on link. So very welcome, Jean-Marie, and please take it away.
Albert, thank you very much for having me, and thank you ABG team for the coverage of CoinShares. It's very much appreciated. First of all, sorry I can't be with you today. It has been a pretty hectic week with the SEC making some U-turn decisions, so I have to cancel my flight to Sweden, but I hope next time I can join in person. So let's jump into CoinShares very quickly. So Albert, if you can keep moving the slides, please. So CoinShares is Europe's leading asset manager specialized in digital assets. We started our journey, funny enough, in Stockholm, around vaudeville, novice, and rich kind of main class in 2016 when we acquired XBT provider. And our aim is very simple, is to become a leading player in the digital asset management. So we are very much on this journey, and we're going to explain you how we're doing so. Albert, please. So, CoinShares has been pioneering digital asset investment since our inception. As I said, our background is commodity trading. We started commodity trading with my business partner, where we're trading at JP Morgan, then running a hedge fund, which was seeded by Louis Bacon, and that became the foundation basis for CoinShares. CoinShares evolved over time. We did a number of acquisitions, we met a number of milestones, a number of joint ventures, to become what is certainly the most regulated, or one of the most regulated crypto company, but also a crypto company which is able to have a very, very serious discussion with institutional players, not just with the retail market. So it's a retail-friendly outfit with a very, very strong focus on institutional adoption. Albert, please. So CoinShares key businesses is very simple to explain. It's like three buckets. Our asset management, which is very well known in Sweden around the brand XBT provider. We have all the brands in Europe like CoinShares Digital Securities, or our joint venture with Invesco around the blockchain index, which is the biggest blockchain crypto equity product in the world. That's a very simple business model. We are making money based on the fees on AUM we are collecting. And then we have our capital market business. Our capital market business was born very much as a effectively necessity, out of necessity, when we acquired XBT provider back in 2016. Our goal was to make sure the Nordic market was able to enter XBT provider with the capacity to feel safe, and that the tracking error of this product were in place and not challenged by some arbitrager. So we were there to maintain the market and make sure the market was fair for our clients. From that, we decided to grow our business bigger than just doing market making for our own product. So we started going into different activities for our proprietary account. We never really trade client asset on that front. We don't have a flow business. It's really like the company balance sheet, which is used for the capital market activity. And over time, effectively, this capital market activity become bigger and bigger. We, at some point, were one of the biggest player in that field. And we felt it was time to go back to our roots, which is asset management and hedge fund solution, by introducing a hedge fund solution division, which will feed from the capital market. So progressively, we will transfer all the non-market making liquidity provision activity from capital market into hedge fund solution. So really, business model built around three core thematic, three core buckets or vertical, which have some kind of, I would say, cross-fertilization between each other, where asset management bring a lot of ideas to the capital market. Capital market is kind of a very kind of spearheading innovation kind of laboratory at the same time to bring new product to asset management and eventually to hedge fund solution. So all this kind of environment is very, very symbiotic to focus on making the company profitable. Albert, please. So, CoinShares, as I just say, is a very profitable business. It's a listed business on Nasdaq main market in Stockholm. As of March, we're managing around $6 billion of AUM. Our margins are quite robust, and we're capturing 50% of the market in Europe. We have 19 products listed. We have a strong balance sheet, but more importantly, we have a very tight team. It's only 83 full-time employees with 4 main offices and a lot of institutional grade regulation around the world, mainly in Europe and the US. We have nothing to date in Asia. The other point which is important in CoinShares ecosystem is our capacity to build strategic investments since 2018 to make sure we are securing our kind of upstream process and make sure we always have the best pricing on what we do. That's very, very much an heritage from our commodity, our physical commodities days, where big company in commodity market tend to integrate the vertical as well to make sure the supply chain is protected. Albert? So that's kind of going back to the model we're discussing before, how the model is very intertwined and how we are making money both in market which are bear market and in bull market. So we have been profitable since 2016 year on year, and that's really, really much due to this anti-fragile, to this resisting model which we have built over time. So passive asset management solution, hedge funds, which are basically management fees and staking fees based on AUM, hedge fund solution, typical hedge fund business model, management and performance fees, and then capital market. And the best way for an investor to think about capital market in terms of profitability is like, what kind of spread are we making on the volume we're trading? Or that's also a function of what kind of volatility the market is experiencing. So the taking spread and volatility give you a fair idea of like how much money we can make on capital market. Albert? So CoinShares AUM is an interesting point. We coined. I'm gonna give some disclosure here, saying that we coined the sentence that AUM is not everything. We have this kind of a very strong quote internally, which is our mantra, that AUM is very much for vanity, while profitability is for sanity. So as you can see, our AUM has been growing year on year at CoinShares. What is interesting is the product mix. We used to have a very strong dependency on the asset management side on XBT provider. It's our legacy product. It was bought in 2015, so that's kind of normal. It has a long life ahead of it. However, we start progressively to introduce new franchise across the world, notably CoinShares Physical, which was our second franchise born in Europe in 2021. The Block Index, which is an acquisition we did to have a joint venture of Invesco, which is dated from 2018, and then Valkyrie, which is our new acquisition in the US as well, starting to bring meaningful AUM to the overall AUM picture of CoinShares. So a model which, to some degree, in terms of AUM, used to be concentrated, which is progressively becoming more and more less reliant on XBT provider. And that's visible as well, if you go to the next slide, Albert, in the way our profitability is growing. Since our adjusted EBITDA are becoming less and less dependent as well on just one product line or two product lines, but we keep adding more and more product line to be able to benefit of a diversification of our model. And this profitability is effectively what allows us today to be the first crypto company, the first listed crypto company to pay a dividend on a quarterly basis to our shareholders. So we paid the very first dividend at the end of Q1. It was the first one we paid, so it took a bit of time to pay it out. So it was paid early April or early May, I think, sorry. But that's something we are planning to do now on a quarterly basis based on the result of the previous year. So a very kind of innovative thing, not so much in terms of dividend payment, but more in terms of like the industry we are in. It doesn't mean CoinShares is bored and don't have any more idea to grow. It just means CoinShares is a strong company, and we want to make sure our shareholders benefit from us being a strong company and keep operating on the basis that we are maximizing every dollar we have on our balance sheet for the benefit of our shareholder. Albert? That's kind of like a very interesting point. That's a powerful margin. And CoinShares Q1 report just came out, and what it highlighted was our best quarter in our history. It was also some of our best margin in our history. We're talking margin, north of 75%. I was joking with the team at ABG saying we created a little NVIDIA of Sweden. It is a fantastic company. from that perspective on the margin is quite strong, and we can explain that it's not just like an effect of luck. It's something we are working on and protecting on an ongoing basis. First of all, we have an operating cost advantage. We are controlling 50% of the market, so we can operate in a way which allow us to put a lot of, I would say, pressure on all our service providers to make sure we get the best pricing in the market for the service they're providing. So we're trying to make sure this is like compressed as much as possible in a way which is reasonable as well. You don't want to get custody for free. If custody is free, then it's not very secure. So you need to be careful to find the right balance here between how much you compress your price and what kind of service you want, but we're pretty good at that due to our size. And then the other component of this powerful margin is like the capacity of pricing we have, where we are maintaining a good service level and good pricing due to our goodwill, our market share, and our product differentiation. You know, CoinShares has been very, very much into product innovation. We have been at the forefront of bringing new products, and even what we do in the US now is like also very innovative. You know, one of our ETF now in the US is called WGMI for We're Gonna Make It, and WGMI is the very only ETF in the world specialized in Bitcoin miners. So funny enough, we are a big Bitcoin miner investor indirectly through this ETF. And this ETF was the best performing ETF in 2023. Interestingly, we are at the crossroad or now where CoinShares is bringing not only crypto in its portfolio, but is also adding equity in its portfolio. And we're probably managing around $1 billion worth of equity exposure as well as part of the CoinShares, I would say, client money we have with us. Albert? And okay, and so then, you know, the way to think about CoinShares on the back of that is like CoinShares is really a growing annuity business with a lot of upside optionality. The upside optionality come from the sector we are in, where the crypto pricing is quite, I would say, explosive in terms of like its capacity on the upside, which create a very strong acceleration and escape velocity on the earning profile, which is very exposing some convexity characteristic, which is very favorable to our capacity to make money. So we get this green bar, which is our green bar for the year, which is an expected green bar. You know, our earnings were out in Q1. I think everybody can make the math how it will look like if we keep executing as we do for the rest of the year. Albert? And then, you know, like we were talking about the profitability, we talk about the margin. This slide is very much a way for investors to think about how CoinShares can keep defending its margin, but also kind of a sensitivity analysis around the margin of CoinShares versus the price. And we can see that our business is extremely scalable in the sense that it doesn't matter if we manage 2 billion or 10 billion or 50 billion tomorrow. Our cost base doesn't have to grow that much, or at least not in a not at all in a linear way. It will be adding a couple of headcount, no more, to be able to manage more money. So we're in a very, very interesting position where we are at the dawn of, I would say, a very, very wide adoption by the retail market and the institutional market of the crypto as an investment thematic. We saw it in the US with all the ETF coming up, the upcoming Ethereum ETF approval, and probably more things to come in the US. And that will drive price, that will drive more demand, and we will be at the forefront of this phenomenon. So where do we go from there? You know, we are the global leading alternative asset manager specializing in digital assets. We have the ambition to become this global leading alternative asset manager. We're still the European leader. We make our first move to become a global leader by doing this US acquisition, which was a very timely and well-priced acquisition. And now we're just like growing that ideas and integrating this business. You know, CoinShares has a strong value to be first to market on a lot of things. You know, there's a long list of first of since 2014. We really want to focus on still being first on many, many things we're doing to bring a lot of value to investors and also to bring a lot of value to our shareholders. So that's kind of CoinShares in a nutshell. Amrit? So, you know, strategy, you know, if we start from the bottom of the slide, you know, we want to become the leading global investment company specialized in digital assets. That's a factor we already repeated probably 10 times since the beginning of this discussion. Now, how does that work? That only works by expanding our footprint in a geographical manner, which allows us to also expand our asset under management, or AUM. We are at the cusp of discovering that a lot of people are running businesses which are not profitable. CoinShares is a very profitable business, and also build a platform for integration, which is very interesting. So we are actively looking at two things, effectively, both our organic growth. We have a fantastic team which is in place to execute and continue the mission we are doing, but we are also very much actively looking at external growth so that we can keep integrating what we will call non-performing asset into CoinShares. XBT Provider was a non-performing asset. The CoinShares team turned into a very successful story. Valkyrie was a non-performing asset. It's already a much better asset, which is about to be finished in restructuring and turned around by the end of H1. So we're in a good position. And then it's like, what else can we add in terms of external growth to bring us more geographical footprint, more diversification of AUM, and more clients and customers across the globe? Albert? Oh, as a disclaimer, I'm not going to speak on this one. That's not my slide, Albert.
Sorry.
Yeah, we're finished on the disclaimer. That's fine. I don't know what responding to that, Albert.
Sorry, this is the last slide.
Yeah, it's not a good slide because there's some question marks. I don't think it's the last slide. It was probably a mistake on the import.
Yeah, I don't have any more slides after this, but maybe we can move to the Q&A then?
Sure.
Yeah.
Let's move.
All right, thank you so much for the presentation. Yeah, we can just assume this one.
Sure.
All right, so I thought we would start a little bit more holistic then, and you touched upon many of the advantages of your company, but let's say an investor is optimistic about cryptocurrency prices. What are the arguments for buying, for investing in your company compared to buying Bitcoin or similar?
Well, first of all, CoinShares is today, so let's, so we're going to get the financial analyst discussion there. So CoinShares is a very, very cheap company, first of all. Bitcoin is what it is. It's a very good asset, but like you have to look at every single investment as a relative value investment of one versus another. And right now, you have a lot of optionality in the price of CoinShares because simply it's trading below book value. So the market is not recognizing yet what CoinShares has built. So if you are an investor and you want to and become a shareholder of a company which has a lot of potential and a lot of growth trajectory, then CoinShares is a good option and a good alternative to Bitcoin. A lot of if you look at our shareholder list, which is the public information, you will see a lot of, I would say global macro investors who are certainly thinking about CoinShares in the same way I just described to you.
Mm-hmm. Very good. And also you have been a bit of a pioneer with the many first launched products, and you are very early with the hedge fund solutions that you're introducing. So do you have to create market demand for this product, or have you already found some market demand since you launched this last fall?
So two things, like when we acquired XBT Provider, it was a tiny product built in Sweden with a very few amount of clients. And they used to all meet for a weekly or monthly meetup at the Vaudeville next to your office. And it was like a very tiny thing where there was no demand realistically around that, which was built over time. And that has been always the way we look at how we build our businesses. It's like, okay, let's not jump and go over our skis. Let's make sure we are building for where the market is right now. So if you think about our asset management platform, we think the asset management platform as it is right now is at the right place versus where is the market demand in terms of sophistication. When it comes to hedge fund solution, it's starting from two the same principle of engagement. You know, like where is the market right now and what does the market want? And the market right now is getting filled on the beta allocation through all the ETF application and all the ETF kind of business we have been running for now almost 10 years in Europe. And the next frontier effectively become by default the alpha allocation, because everybody who look at its portfolio when they say, okay, I get some beta exposure, I want some alpha exposure, where do I shop the alpha? And if you have been working with a brand and you have a good experience with a brand like CoinShares, you know, naturally you're going to look at an alpha exposure. More importantly, you're going to look for an alpha exposure for a manager who has a strong presence, a strong financial surface, and I'm going to disappear tomorrow morning. There have been a lot of cases in crypto specifically where the asset manager disappeared because it's a small shop in a garage. And with regulation looming on and all the kind of increase in regulation, it's very important to invest with a manager who has the right size. So CoinShares has a lot of positive attributes to be this allocator of choice for people who want to be in alpha mode. Now, in terms of demand, we have a sales team who is like assessing demand in real time. We are building a track record right now. The hedge fund solution business is a very different business in the way it sells compared to the ETF business, which is a much more, I would say, on-screen. People click and buy in hedge fund solution, you have to build a track record and be able to show 6, 8, 12 months of track record to an investor to give him confidence in what you do. So we are building the track record to be able to demonstrate it and be able to softly gauge and engage with LPs to make sure we have their commitment. So it's a work, I would say it's work in progress. The stuff which is very interesting, I would say, on the alpha side is really the direction of traveling of the entire market. And our US acquisition to that degree has brought us an interesting platform, which is called a Series Trust under 40 Act regulation in the US, which allow us not only to do ETF, but to blend into an ETF format some alpha management skills. And that's part of unique approach, which is unique to the US market, because that's something which people have dreamed to do in Europe, which is not available because the regulators don't want to get these kind of things in Europe. In the US, it's available. So you can have inside the wrapper of an ETF, so with all the distribution power of the ETF market, something much more alpha generative in its format than just a pure beta product. So there is a lot of potential growth as well and distribution through this kind of new format, which has been made available to us thanks to our latest acquisition.
Very interesting indeed. And we're running out of time right now, so I have to thank you.
It's always the same problem.
Yeah, I have to thank you a lot for this presentation. Very interesting.
Thank you very much, Albert.
Thank you.